Good morning. Good Saturday morning. Good to see everybody. We got some people in the chat already. Tim saw my trailer for the live stream this morning and said I took his punchline, which I kind of did. How to do it. How to take Tim's punchline. Zini coming in right off the topic of today's live stream. He likes hearing about the deeper dive of science, but when it comes to actually keeping the fish, he likes to keep it simple. And that's like me. So if you're just coming in and you didn't see the trailer or the description of the live stream, we're going to talk about what kind of fish keeper are you? Do you like to get into the deeper complexity of the hobby and figure out the science-based things and testing and trying things out, or do you just like to keep it simple, keep it easy, knowing the basics and not really caring about the science end of things? That's what we're going to talk about. Let me know what you guys like to do. There's Bob Bravo. Good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you coming in. We are live to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch all at the same time. Hey, Tara, good morning. So we have a little bit of a different view for today's live stream. And it was a request from a channel member. So we did it. In the back is my 375 gallon. I'll give you guys a kind of like a little bit of an update to see how it's doing while we talk, see what it looks like. Since I set it up, I've really done a couple little videos on it, but it was a good idea. So we went ahead and did it. So you can see the 375 behind me the whole time. We're not doing a maintenance stream this Saturday morning. We're just going to chat. It's been a while since I just sat here and talked with you guys and had a good subject to talk about. What's up, loser? Yeah, finally made it to a live stream. Hello, my fish friends. Got you, Nathan. Hey, Scotty, good to see you. And it was Scotty's idea to have the 375 as a background and to have a look at it and see how it's going. Scotty, you can see your plants in there. They're doing really good, looking big, and no problems. They've been doing really well. And for like 2 or 3 weeks, that was last bunch you sent me, they were just floating in the tank. We're just floating there, and not one died off, melted, nothing. And then I just last weekend finally got them down where they got to be. It's very hard to plant in this 375 gallon. I have to get on a step stool, and even then when I reach down, I can only reach the bottom with my fingertips. That's one thing I can't say about having a monster tank. It's very hard to reach the bottom unless you get a custom made tank where it's lower. But I wanted as big as a tank as I could possibly get. And so pros and cons to everything. So I had to make a few different tools for maintenance on this tank so I could reach the bottom comfortably. And now I have a tool where I can reach the bottom without even having to use a step stool. So little things you got to look out for when you're looking at buying a monster tank. Hey, P-Tag, good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you coming in. Hope you're doing well. Should become a member. I appreciate you, Tim. Appreciate that. Tim, always a great supporter of the channel and helping me out. They said, this is huge. I'm normally still sleeping. I don't know what to do with myself. Been awake before noon. Yeah, it's rare. Talking about that, there is some downsides to live streaming early in the morning. There's a lot of you guys that are night owls and stay up late, and then you're sleeping into 10, 11, 12. So, there for a while, I was doing 2 live streams, one on Saturdays and one on Tuesdays in the evening to try to catch a different crowd. But it got to be too much trying to live stream twice a week. And you can see that those blood parrots, they definitely have attitude. They don't put up with no crap going after that Oscar. And this is what they do. Those blood parrots aren't afraid of anything, and it's fun to watch. And I keep an eye on it, and that's all I do for a little bit, and then it's over. See the Oscars getting nice and big, and to be honest, here comes the big pleco. It's good activity. The blood parrots go after him too. They go after that pleco and mess with him. Luckily, that Pleco is a gentle giant, and he's got a really good, easygoing personality. Get some scuba gear and take a dive. Yeah, I've been in it. Before I filled it up, I was in the tank. Had to do a couple things in there. There's Jose. Good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you coming in. Hey, Sketty. I know you were in here earlier. Appreciate seeing you. Sketty's been another very good supporter of the channel. She's always commenting on my videos, and that really helps. By the way, guys, I am like coming up on 950,000 views on my overall views on my channel. Um, I basically I'm about 50,000 views away from hitting 1 million views on the channel, so I'm trying to hit uh that milestone. I just want to let you know. To me, doing this channel for over three years, maybe 3.5 years now, it's really neat to see something like that coming up. 1 million views on a fish keeping channel. That's not a large channel. Is that'd be a good milestone to hit for me. So just want to let you guys know that. You don't have to, but if you can, if you're not thinking about it, throw some of my playlists on the background in the TV and let them go. But you don't have to. Maybe you hate me. Maybe you can't stand my face or my voice. Totally understand it. Paulie's in. Good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you coming in. Yeah, it is. I'm excited about that. That's my goal right now, to hit that 1 million views. I look at some of these other guys' channel and they got well over 1 million views. I've been trying so many different things to reach out to different people and different audiences, and I've tried humor, I've tried drama, I've tried talking about subjects, you name it. Over the last 3.5 years, I have tried a lot of different things, and I'm not complaining. The channel's done well, and I've got sponsorships, and I'm where I wanted to be when I started the channel, and I have no complaints. I can't thank my members and my subscribers enough. You're the best. You're the greatest. And if the channel never goes anywhere from here, it's still a win-win for me, because I get to chat with you fine people, made friends all over the world, and that's priceless right there. Ew, drama, exactly. Well, I'm not a big drama dude. I'm mostly humor and funny. You guys know that. But I've tried to put a couple of the videos out there. Let's face it, when there's drama on a channel, um, you get a lot of people coming in. That's why most people do what they do to get the views. But I've never really bought into that stigmata, or whatever the word would be. I just kind of just have fun with it and enjoy it. So you've even danced dirty. Yeah, Polly remembers I've danced dirty with Driftwood. I've I've embarrassed myself for goals and super chats. But I do have another thing coming up. I did hire an assistant to help me with doing water changes in the fish room. With my full-time job, with everything I'm doing around the house and all this stuff I've got to do around the house, it's very hard to keep up with this maintenance sometimes. So I have hired an assistant. I have that is willing to come help me take care of these things when I can't do it. And it'll all be on the video. It's not my wife. My wife, she's busy enough. She has no interest. And so it's just me doing this hobby. My family really isn't. So I hired an assistant. I hired a female assistant, and she's going to be helping me do these uh, tank maintenance. So look forward to those videos coming out. It's something you're not going to want to miss. The view is going to be, the assets are going to be worth your time. We'll just say it that way. No, Emma, not Emma. Emma ain't going to do it. No. No interest. She likes to come in and see the fish every once in a while, but she don't. She's really not into it. She likes to come in every once in a while and see me and say hello, but that's it. And she's doing school all day, and then of course she's doing her kind of a not a bikini girl, but it's, you you won't be disappointed. I'll just put it that way. I do have permission to get this done. Hello to all I missed. I was Switching over from mobile to the computer. Okay, cool, Scotty. Appreciate you. And we are live just normally. I didn't do the multi vertical and horizontal this time. It seems like the consensus is most of you guys like this way because everybody's in one chat, which I agree with that. So I'm still going to do both of them at times because it really helps with the views in the channel and getting the channel out there and things like that. But this here is a little bit more enjoyable, I think, for everybody. Florida. Yeah, right. No, that's funny. So, oh, Florida was supposed to believe Florina. I got you. Yeah, and that live stream right there was probably my extent of the drama end of things that you're referencing. I'm pretty sure. So, but at any rate, we got an awesome view behind us. Let's get into the topic of this morning's live stream. And for those of you who might have missed it, what kind of fish keeper are you? Are you into the more science-based complexity things of the hobby? Do you like to experiment? Do you like to try things out, see what's working, how it works? Or are you kind of like me, where you like to keep it, and Z mentioned it when he came in, are you more on the simple end of things? You just like to, your basics, the important things, the tank has to be cycled, you have to do your maintenance, and you have to feed your fish and clean the tanks every once in a while. But other than that, you're keeping fish, you're not keeping tanks. That's my little saying. I like to keep fish, I don't keep tanks. So, what I mean by that is I've been in the hobby long enough. I know a little bit more than just the basics. I know a little bit of the science-based things and touched on them, did videos on them, even dabbled in it a little bit. But for me, I just like to keep the fish. I enjoy coming in here, sitting down, feeding them, watching their behaviors, their colors, successfully have raised some fish from fry. Now, that's not me claiming I'm like this breeder. I'm not. The fish that I raised were pretty simple fish that breed pretty easily. Um, I've I've delved into the medications and fixing different diseases and things like that and learned a lot there. But at the end of the day, I just like having these tanks out here. I like keeping fish for the hobby for what it is, feeding them, giving them the longest life possible, enjoying the view, having the fish, watching their behavior. Some of them are so comical, like these blood parrots behind me, a very comical fish. One of the best fish I ever owned that gets a bad rap are these blood parrots right here. What a fantastic fish it has been to keep and a real treat. And the same with the golden dojo loach over there. They are characters, and some of the things they do, it's just super fun and it brings me enjoyment to watch them. Oscars can be the same way. Um, so for me, it's that. What is it for you guys? What do you guys get out of the hobby the most? Aquarium bus can fish keeping is trial by error. Absolutely, that's a great statement. And a fairly new name. I think I may have saw you in some past, but a fairly new name. Appreciate you coming in. Love the statement. It is trial by error, trial and error. Try things. If they work, they don't work, you learn. And the best way to learn is by mistake. So very great input there. Appreciate that. Hey, yes, Tara. Hey, you keep water. There you go. Have you ever? Yes, I've used CChem Matrix. I'm running some now. It's a product that I really like. CChem Matrix is great because it has a high surface area, holds a lot of beneficial bacteria. CChem, CChem, God dang it. CChem Matrix is a fantastic biomedia. They says, I think I'm laid back. However, I will be giving it a go at breeding. So I will have to be more hands on with her. Oh yeah, absolutely. When you're breeding fish, you've got to really, watch them water parameters. But going hand in hand in that, I think simple helps with that too, Nathan, because I've talked about it many times. I don't get overly excited with my tanks. I can go a month without doing water changes. I always say less is best. I think the less you do in your tanks, the best it is because uh, I've got overstocked tanks. I've got all kinds of things going, and no matter what I do, the less I do, it seems like the fish do better. And my nitrates, I don't get excited about them. They really don't get that high. I just leave these tanks alone. So I'm doing water changes maybe every 3 weeks. I was doing it a month. Some tanks need it more often because it's so packed full. They just has to be done. I got two like that, like my 125 Mabuna tank, this 20-gallon long up here, and they need a little bit more often. But other than that, I just don't fuss about things too much. Tara says one of my fish is going to die soon. I think something happened to its air bladder, whatever it's called. I can't. Okay, yeah, he's got a bloat. He probably got bloat. What you can do, the best trick I've found to fight bloat, Tara, is get a 5-gallon bucket or even a 2.5-gallon bucket. Do fill it up, get some Epsom salt. Take Epsom salt, do 1 tablespoon per gallon. So if you have 5 gallons of water, you're going to put 5 tablespoons of Epsom salt in there, stir it up, add an air stone from your air line, and then let them sit in there for 30 minutes, set a timer. I have fixed bloat in goldfish and a tiger barb and a betta fish using that method when any other method wouldn't work. So try that. Hey, John, good to see you, buddy. Polly says, after 30 years in a stressful job, it's my quiet place where I get lost. So, yeah, so you like to definitely keep it simple then, Polly. Matrix paired with Purigen is a win. Absolutely. I've done videos on Purigen. The names is Boyd Enterprises has sent me, or Purigen is CChem. I apologize. I've had Purigen in the past. I've used it, but to be honest with you, in my findings and trying things out, Boyd Enterprises is, in my opinion, a much better chemical filtration. I have tripled the dose of Purigen, and I used a regular dose from Boyd Enterprises, and Purigen didn't keep the nitrates as low as the Boyd Enterprises. Chemipure is what I'm talking about. Chemipure did a much better job, and in my opinion, cleared the water up. What's up? Yeah, yeah, you can have it. Uh, those are the ones Scotty sent me. Those are big old crypts. Yeah. Scotty tries to keep things simple these days, as do I. Salt, yeah, even better than salt. I find Epsom salt works even better. John apparently likes to complicate. So why do you say you apparently like to complicate things, John? I just added Matrix to my pump. Something nice. Chemipure is great. Yeah, Chemipure works really, really good for me. Um, I was lucky enough to have Boyd Enterprises, who makes Chemipure, send me some for free to do a review on the channel. And that video is out there. Somebody can find it. The moderator can find it. They can post it on there. It was a while back, year or so, maybe 2 years ago. And I really got a chance to try it out for free. The Purigen I had purchased, but the Chemipure was free. And I mentioned in a video that I do believe Chemipure is superior to Purigen. I think it did a much better job in my experience with my tanks with it. It might be different for yours. But it did fantastic for me. And if I was going to use chemical filtration, which I don't, I would be going with Chemipure. I don't even use carbon anymore. The only time I use carbon, which I keep around because it's cheaper for what I use it for, I use it to remove meds if I have to med a tank. But going hand in hand with what I said about doing less is best, knock on wood, it has been years since I've had a sick fish or a diseased fish. I haven't had to set up a QT tank. I haven't had to med a tank. I just haven't had to do it. And I fully contribute that to the fact that I don't mess with my tanks a lot. I leave them be. I'm not constantly in there doing water changes. I'm not always having my hands in my tanks. I run all canister filters in this fish room with sponge filter backup. and my canister filters don't get cleaned but once a year. And I fully believe letting things be and keeping your hands out of there has contributed to more healthy fish. It sounds weird. Now, I'm not talking about letting these things go for years and years on end. I still do my water changes, but I don't suck out every piece of poop. I don't suck out all the moam. I don't make them human clean. I let these tanks do their thing. Doodle Poodle's in. Good to see you. You should see Tim with his little helper at night when feeding all the tanks. Okay, yeah. I think I've seen some videos like that, Tim. I like to be able to leave them running in the background and have the freedom to not have to think about the tanks too much if I need to. Helps with not getting burned out. I realize nothing. Exactly, Z. And I agree with you 100%. It goes hand in hand. You get too many tanks and you think you got to do all this stuff, you're going to get burnt out real quick for sure. My favorite thing about fish keeping is the thrill of watching the fish grow and keeping them healthy, figuring out their personalities, especially the parrotfish and the fish breeding too. Yeah, so you and I are on the same page, Webbs. Yeah, yeah. These guys back here have some of the best personality in fish I have ever seen, and they're a hybrid fish, man-made, right? Everyone's gives these guys a bad rap, but they are by far one of the best fish I have ever kept. I'll put my hands in the tank and they'll go after my hands and my arms, and all the fish like to pull my arm hair. They must think it's like algae or something to eat. It's just stuff like that I get to enjoy is what I like about the hobby. Probably, and I like my spicy fish. I like fish with a little bit of attitude, not to the point they're a jerk fish, but kind of like these blood parrots. A little bit spicy. They'll mess with you. They don't put up with a bunch of crap. They don't all out try to destroy you. Iron Ram, good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you coming in. The more you mess with them, the more chances you have to mess something up. Exactly. I end up doing stuff the hard way more than I need to. I'm currently using like 6 adapters to fit 2 pipes together instead of paying more money to get the parts that fit more directly. Yeah, and a lot of the times, John, and I know that you know this, the more connections you have with something, the more chances of a leak you have. Not only does it have to do with gas, water, but electric too. Let's say you want to run a Cat 5 cable out from, like I did here, from I'm hardwired to the internet out in the garage. I had to drill a hole through the wall, run the Cat 5 out. I can do all that work myself. I spliced the wires, crimped the connector on. But instead of having 2 more hookups and 2 more connections to make, you get something what's called eventually electrical leakage. And you can actually lose signal because you have way too many connections. So as opposed to just one line going straight from the source, straight to the computer. So anytime that you can have a direct connection with anything, it's always better. Oh, I'm the total opposite. I'm in some of the tanks every day. I agree leaving them alone. I mean, I am always playing with the plants and rocks and stuff. Yeah. And I did it too. And I think we all did. You want to move them things here. You want to try this out, see what this looks like. And there's nothing wrong with that. But, uh, I always say, and you guys might have seen me say it before, if you're one of them people that like to always have your hands in your tank and mess around with them, get into aquascaping. Keep small fish, and your focus is your aquascaping, which is what I call keeping tanks, where I keep fish, not tanks. Just like these plants that Scotty sent me. I put them in there and I didn't have any rhyme or reason where I put them. One, it's very hard to reach the bottom of this tank. It's very, very hard to get roots in the sand of this tank when you can barely reach it. You'll literally have to, like Scotty said, it's no joke. You have to get in the tank in order to put plants where you want them. Even that big terracotta pot right behind me. I'm horrible with these. Right there, and there's another one over here. It was so hard to get them where I wanted them. Just because I can't reach the bottom. I can't put my hands in my big tank. The waru and the severums will bite, and they do draw blood. Ask me how I know. Man, see, I don't like fish like that. The more your hands are in the tank, the more toxins enter the tank from your skin, and that's true too. And I'm glad you said that because I was going to bring that up. There's a mistake that people make that they don't realize it just because you're not thinking about it. Because what you do on a daily basis, you're not thinking. So any colognes or perfumes, or moisturizing creams that you're going to put on your hands, and then you go dig in a tank, that stuff leaches off your skin and just creates a film, and it's in your water column, and it's 100% not good for your fish. Grease. My hands are always getting dirty. I have to make sure I thoroughly scrub my hands. I get all the grease out from under my fingernails before I go sticking my hands in these tanks. And it's easy to forget that. I would assume, especially as a female, you've got to remember you need to wash your hands, your arms, whatever you got on your tank hands before you stick your hands in that tank, because what Aquarium Boss is saying is 100% correct, and a lot of people overlook that. These fish are going to be inhaling and absorbing through their bodies and taking in through their gills everything that comes off of your hands and your arms and your skin. Ever consider a puffer? Lots of personality there, I think. Yes, I have, and I would like, wouldn't mind getting one. You got those big old teeth, though, and I was always nervous about them taking a chunk out of my fish. Never kept one. No experience there. Less is better as if less is better as if it's not broken, you don't fix it. If everything is running smoothly, don't mess with it. It's like my nitrates. I won't water change until they're 15 ppm in the tanks a month. Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. That's the way I am. I don't get excited about things. So I miss those days of being scared to put my hands in a tank. I never had blood, but I got a used piece of equipment for $5 instead of paying 120 for new. It has an oddball size pipe, which I've tried to connect to a standard size, and of course, the single adapter I need, no store sell. Oh yeah, that sounds like me, John. You go to freaking. So that's something that drives me nuts. You go to Lowe's, you go to Home Depot, you're looking for an adapter, a pipe fitting. It always seems like with what I need, it's never there. But it's the people that make this hard, because most likely it is there, especially when it comes, and you tell me if you had this experience at your guys' hardware stores. People go in there, they pull crap out of bags, they try it out, don't work, and they never put it back where it goes. So you get a mass amount of people coming in there doing that on a daily and weekly basis. Everything's screwed up. And I talked to the employees at Lowe's, and they said, yeah, it's so bad they've given up on it, because they would straighten these up and it would get messed up within hours, minutes. And I don't blame them. If people would just put things back, especially little fittings, little adapters, brass, plastic, they just grab it. If it don't work for them, they throw it anywhere. It's lazy crap, and I can't freaking stand it. If people would put that crap back exactly where they got it, life would be so much easier. But they don't, and it's horseshit. That fires me up. People people transfer hand cream a lot into the tanks. Yeah, exactly. And you got to think ahead. You got to think outside the box. Puffer would draw blood. They got them big old teeth and big old incisors right in the front. Best to be kept alone. I always have Dawn soap on standby, and my family knows that's my soap. Don't touch it. I'm very careful with coming home and going straight to the tank. Yep. So Nathan's the same way. And Dawn is the best. We've tried all the off brands. Dawn soap is the best soap, Dawn. Talking about simple or complicated, looking at my maintenance spreadsheet. I got a lot to do today for maintenance. Spreadsheet makes my life better. And Scotty, surprised me when he first told me that. I'm surprised. He goes to the length of making a spreadsheet on his computer to keep himself straight. All I do is I have a whiteboard back there with dry erase markers, and I write down the last time I did maintenance. I write down the last time I cleaned my filters. If I did have a sick fish, I'd be writing it up there to keep my med schedule straight. But that's all I do. But what can happen is you can accidentally wipe those off. So then I started doing that and taking a picture of it. So Scotty's route really is a little better because it's there. It can't be erased. You don't have to take pictures. You can bring it up anytime. So that's another good process, is to do a spreadsheet. I hate that crap. Take a minute and put the stuff where it came from. Yes, that drives me up the wall, Nathan. The COVID one Was it? Yes, the Germex and all those things. Yeah, that stuff stays on your skin, and people think that Germex and all that stuff is a cure all. It's not near as good as soap. Let me explain the difference of using those alcohol-based Germexes to kill bacteria. Well, that's what it does. The alcohol in it does kill bacteria. Not all of it, but most of it. But the problem is when you do that stuff, it stays on your hands. That mess, that concoction of dead bacteria, alcohol, and that gel crap is still on your hands. Some of them put moisturizer in there because they were using them every day and their hands were drying out. Why soap is better is not only does it kill the germs, but it lifts them off your skin. And then when you rinse, it washes them away. So do not mistake that. Understand that it's still not a substitute to washing your hands. Got to get it off the skin. So, but it sounds like so far, most of the people in here like to keep it simple. Bryce says, dude, I don't know what it is, but every time I bought a snail, they die. Is that normal? My water quality is fine. Well, what kind of snails we talking, Bryce? You getting Nerite snails? You getting the big snails? I'm assuming assassin snails. Which snails you talking about? Mystery snails? I have, I believe, what's big old Nerite snails. I think I got big snails in the Mabuna tank. They're still going. They came with the tank. They've been alive, but several have died. I really, maybe someone in the chat can answer that. I really don't have an answer to that because I haven't purposely went and bought a snail and kept it in a tank. Snails, in my experience, I've got a lot of the what people call pest snails. I got some big ones over there, and they're still going, but they have died, and the fish eat them. What kind of fish are you keeping with the snails? When you put them in the tanks, how long did you say till they were dying? Yep, that's how I mix it up. How it is all mixed up. I'm the type I'll find my fitting and spend 20 more minutes sorting fittings. I've been told I must have a little OCD. My girlfriend fusses at me for straightening shells up. No, that's great, and I've done that too, but it's a losing battle. Everyone has their own methods, as I noticed over the last year of cleaning up tanks in the office, especially the way I see it. The less you see me, the better. It allows me to gain more clients for servicing, and that makes sense, aquarium boss, for sure. Mystery snails can't tolerate copper, which is in some treatments. Okay, thank you for that information, Sketty. The day they are alive. Okay, and neon tetras and molly. So we know it's not the fish going at them. Mystery snails are more sensitive to pH and calcium content from my experience. Okay. So I guess at this point, Bryce, if you want to keep snails, what you need to do is have you treated that tank with meds? And if you have, make sure it doesn't have copper in it. And what is your pH? What does your pH look like? Have you tested your tank for pH? And John, if you could, what is that number? What should that number look like for pH for a mystery snail? Neutral, 6.0, 7.0, or lower? Do they need lower? Do they need more alkaline or acidic water? I think the ones that I have are Nerites, and I've never had an issue with them. They're big old snails. They'll bear themselves completely under the sand, come up. They help clean the tank great. They came with that aquarium when I got it from the girl. I did a live stream with her. She was a great, very, very, very educated woman. I haven't tested it in a while, but I have not changed the tanks. Do test your pH real quick. What kind of test kit do you have? You have the API Liquid Master Test Kit. Do you have Fritz, or using test strips, um, test it real quick, see where your water's at, and see what's going on. Sometimes your water can turn on you before you know it. Once the tank is balanced and you add to what it needs, most tanks run themselves. There are so many products now to dilute waste. I try to bring the two outlet methods to the equation: air and light. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Once you get these tanks, now I will say the only thing that when you cycle a tank, you have what I call a weak cycled tank. Only time brings you a strong, mature cycled tank. And in that time, it's your bacteria colony is just going to build up. It's just going to get stronger and stronger. Now, don't confuse that. That doesn't mean it's going to be additive. Your beneficial bacteria will only grow to the size needed to handle the tank. So it's not additive. Just by adding another filter or adding some more biofilter media, things like that, it doesn't make the beneficial bacteria additive. It simply shares the load between the filters and the biomedia you have in there. It's not until you add more fish or something to that tank that creates a bigger load, then they start multiplying again to keep up with the load. I always use the analogy of think of it like an expandable rubber band. Your beneficial bacteria will expand and contract to the size of the load in the tank. If you try to expand it too fast, adding too many fish too fast, the rubber band will snap and your tank will crash. You have to give at least 2 weeks before adding new fish to allow that bacteria to catch up. So you to understand that. It's something I don't have. Oh, I test mine, and my local snail expert says I need to add more calcium. I didn't ask what it needed to be because I was too lazy to do all that buffering at the time. I got you. So, well, that makes sense because basically a snail's shells is made up of calcium, and just like birds, their beaks, they need calcium to help maintain those beaks, as the snails would need calcium to maintain their shells and stay healthy. So, there's different things you can add into the tank to help add calcium into your aquarium. So I try that. I test your water base, see where it's at, make sure there isn't a problem. Check your pH, see what it's at, and then maybe you need to get some calcium in there. This is why sponge filters run the game. Yeah. Hey, Cecil, good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you coming in. Bioloads, more fish. Yep. It pops like a bubble. Have you ever looked into bubbles and why they pop or not? I did something like that. At the surface, you're talking about why the bubbles sit up there and just hang out as opposed to just bursting instantly. God, I actually did a video towards something like that, and I can't remember what it is now. Aquarium Boss, appreciate that support, Aquarium Boss. Might need something like a Wonder Shell on aquarium co-op shrimp and snail shells. Wonder Shell. What is Wonder Shell? What's that do? Just bring up the calcium in the aquarium, Polly? That's why I find the explanation of the cycle misleading to people. They say when cycle happens, you're good to add fish, and people dump them in a million, but it's like it has a cycle for each fish. Really, yeah, it's it. You've gotta let that bacteria have time to adjust and get stronger. If you overload it, you're gonna have problems. Well, crushed coral is, and I've talked about this many times. Crushed coral is, in my opinion, the absolute best way to naturally and slowly raise the pH in your aquarium. The last thing you want to do is do the baking soda and additives. You don't do that because all that does is really quickly raise the pH, and then it really quickly drops. And you're probably going to stress and kill your fish out. Never chase pH. But if you absolutely need to raise it, use crushed coral. That is my go-to when I got to do it. I've done that several times, and and in my opinion, the best way to use crushed coral to raise your pH in your aquarium is to put it in a sack. like a media bag or something like that and hide it behind rocks. Because when you use crushed coral in a filter to raise pH, it exhausts its buffering power very quickly. If you use it as an entire substrate, well, when that it gets exhausted, now you got a whole substrate of crushed coral that you either need to add more to or remove. And crushed coral has jagged, sharp edges, could be unsafe for the fish. So I don't like that method. I don't like the filter method. I find putting it in a sack and then hiding that sack behind a rock or decor or something lasts the longest. And then when it does get exhausted, you simply take the bag out, put more in, making sure that you rinse and rinse and rinse it very, 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 very well. Because if you don't and you put that in your tank, you get a milk that fills your tank up. Now it clears out fast, but it will completely white your tank out. So make sure you rinse it really good before you do it. But that's how I feel and what I have found the best way to use crushed coral is. You can scatter cutter bones for snails, the same stuff they use. That's a good idea, Iron Ram Fish Co. Good idea. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah, we got those. They chew on them. Yeah, they look like little surfboards. That's a fantastic idea. It's a dissolvable calcium mineral supplement co-op has. So okay, I kind of thought that's what it was. In my planted tanks, I added crushed dust coral as a nutrient. Oh, that's good. They can absorb that then. Snails and shrimp will eat off them directly and is also slowly dissolved. Well, there you go, Bryce. This is fantastic. If you're still in here, Bryce, if you're listening, you got a lot of good suggestions here. And this is what I like about getting on these live streams and talking and comparing notes and sharing ideas. I would have never have thought about using that that for doing that. Always suggest bags. You can also use crushed oyster shells that's sold for chicken supplements. It's often cheaper than what's sold for fish. And it's the same thing. Okay. That's how they come up with got milk commercial. Yeah. Eggshells. I've heard of people using eggshells. Eggshells is a good idea. I've heard of people doing that in the past. Crushed coral is what I do, and I use that method, and it works pretty well. Well, I didn't realize I've been keeping goldfish for a long time. I've got one more left. Just put a recent short out on them. It's a Ryukin fancy tail calico fancy goldfish. Last one, last of the Mekins. That's the one I got. Goldfish need a high pH to really thrive, and I did not realize that. So I put a big old sack of crushed coral underneath a bunch of rocks in there to help raise that pH. Yeah, I did not realize that goldfish needed such a high pH to really thrive. And I'll tell you what, since I've raised the pH in that aquarium, I have not had a problem because when it comes to goldfish, the most problems I've ever had with sicknesses with fish and disease has always been with a fancy goldfish. The bloat, they're so freaking sensitive. Dropsy, I beat it all with Epsom salt. But fancy goldfish, in my experience, by far are the most sensitive fish. And since I have raised the pH in that aquarium, this goldfish has not had a problem since. Roy NC69, good to see you. Appreciate you coming in, buddy. The neat thing is the shell, coral, etc., will dissolve directly in the ratio to its needs. If you have an acidic water, it dissolves faster than you already have. Yeah, exactly. It's really cool how it works. Um, what is it? The higher the I always get this backwards, but how that works, how crushed coral works and doing this is what is it? I think it's the higher the acidity is, It dissolves that limestone. It's basically limestone. It is limestone, which releases and brings that pH up. Once it gets to the level it needs to be, that doesn't happen anymore. So it naturally sits there and constantly stabilizes your pH. It's really cool how it works. Oh, wow. Aquarium Adventures is in. Good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you coming in. I haven't seen you in a long time. I was watching you last night on your stream. I just didn't comment. Appreciate you coming in. We're having some great conversation here on this morning's live stream. Aquarium domains in here? I didn't see aquarium domain come in. Aquarium domain, another one of my favorite channels I like to watch. Amazing fish room. And loving your mega tanks, Mr. Graham. But yeah, that's my method for naturally buffering pH. Never use additives, never use the baking soda trick. It's a horrible thing to do. And if you can, by far, never chase pH. It's the worst thing you can do. Just do it naturally. Use crushed coral or some of these other suggestions that were in here and let it happen naturally and slowly. I had a great holiday myself, Roy. Appreciate you asking. Hope yours was good. As I always enjoy that time of year of Christmas and New Year's and Thanksgiving and all those things. My favorite time of year. Um, I'm one of them guys that after I get the decorations up and New Year's is over, me and the wife, we go out and we instantly take them back down. And, you know, a lot of these people leave their lights up for months and months after. We don't do that. We put them up and we get them down so we don't have to worry about it. What mistake did you make, Sketty? I was sick with COVID the whole time. Oh, that's terrible to hear, Roy. Ew. Yeah, and that's I heard the flus. There's some nasty. My wife informed me that there's some pretty nasty flus going around that has unalived some people. So uh be careful out there. And of course, like Roy here, COVID's still kicking around. So uh be careful. Wash your hands. It's bad. Like it's a like go to the I've never been the guy to worry about crap. Go to the gas pump, do what you gotta do, give my face a scratch. But in these times with things going around, I'll put the old rubber gloves on before I touch that gas pump and things like that. Keep the Lysol in the van. I would also look up rocks through AI and see what types stabilize your pH. Yeah, I'll have to look at that, but I believe limestone, anything limestone will do it. Graham says, big fan of crushed coral, works slow and lasts. Exactly. And I don't know if you were in here when I was talking about it earlier, Graham, but I find the best method to use crushed coral is to don't put it in your filter. Don't use it as a substrate. Although if you use it as a substrate, it does last longer than in the filter. But I find you putting it in a sack, like a media bag, and then hiding it behind a piece of decor is by far the best way to get the maximum amount of time out of your crushed coral, because once it's exhausted, you can grab that bag, pull it out, put new in, rinse the new stuff off, put it back in. Much easier to replace as opposed to having that as an entire substrate. Because when it exhausts as an entire substrate, you got a whole substrate of crushed coral that's not doing anything anymore. It might look good as a substrate, but it's also jagged, edgy, and sharp. That I would feel like crushed coral was a horrible idea for a substrate with soft underbellied fish like plecos, cory cats, dojo loaches, thing like that can tear them up. So I think the best way is to put them in a sack, hide them, and change it out as needed. And you can only, and there's only one really way to know that your crushed coral is not buffering your pH anymore, and that's test your tanks every so many months. Make sure it's still doing its thing. I've got a 125-gallon Mabuna tank over there full of Texas Holy Rock, and I got that stuff used. I know that it is no longer buffering my pH in that tank. So the next step is to just do the either get some more, which I'd love to get some more Texas Holy Rock. I'd love it. Nowhere around me has it. I have to buy it online, and you talk about pricey. But some of them are heavy, real heavy. I got a piece of Texas Holy Rock on the left side of that tank that it's like this pulling it's that heavy. It's like this pulling it up out of there. Graham says, "Good idea. I normally put the sack in the filter, but hiding it is away is a good idea too." Yeah, the only thing I don't like about filter, Graham, is it exhausts its buffering power faster because it's constantly got water going through it. So you get more longevity by doing it in a sack and just setting it at the bottom. I thought it kept releasing until it was completely dissolved. It gets weaker. It does dissolve, but it gets weaker. It's buffering power, so to speak. Like nothing lasts forever, right? Its buffering power over the years is going to get weaker and weaker as John's saying, as it gets used. So you got to keep up. If you have a fish that's particularly sensitive to pH, you're going to have to keep up on testing that aquarium and adjusting, adding more as needed. pH is a funny thing also, depending on when you test it and your fish load. I've seen pH swing from morning to evening. Yeah, it's crazy. And pH is a fantastic subject for this live stream this morning because the topic is, what type of fish keeper are you? Are you into the more science-based complexity end of things, or you just keep it simple and keep fish and know your basics and you keep healthy fish, but you don't get tied up into all this scientific stuff? I'm mostly keeping it simple, but I do like learning about things like we're talking about now, pH, how it works, how limestone affects that. I do dabble into a little bit of that end of things because I do feel it makes you a better, well-rounded fish keeper. And the more you know, the better all around. Scotty says, I test my water in all my planted tanks once a month and I record it. My cichlid tank gets tested bi-weekly, and we know that's going on Scotty's spreadsheet. I kind of like wood stops tanning. Kind of like wood stops. Yeah, eventually those tannins get leached out of the wood, and it's not going to do as much. Conversely, from what I understand, wood will actually lower your pH, the tannins. Yep, never chase pH. Tim got it. By recording it and tracking the parameters, you can really see the swings and because Scotty, he's taking a deeper dive into it, tracking it more often. It's really going to open your eyes. What needs to be a t-shirt? Keep up with the maintenance. Don't overfeed and don't overcomplicate. Also, be aware of other chemicals like CO2. Some dechlorinators and additives from municipality can impact pH test to give false numbers. That's true. Can't. A lot of these food makers will say does not affect pH, does not affect things. So I'm assuming there's some food out there that can even affect your water chemistry. We know that it will definitely affect your water chemistry if you're overfeeding. I always say, I feed my fish every other day. I don't feed them every day, and I don't feed them a ton. Overfeeding your fish is one of the worst things you can do for not only your fish, but your aquarium too. The longer I'm in this, the more simple I want to get. I'm really considering converting my fish room to all tanks that don't need heaters, especially after seeing Patty's aquatics video yesterday. Oh, yeah, Polly. You guys should know by now that I don't like heaters. And I watched Patty's video, and that sucked. That's terrible. Most unfortunate. I don't like heaters. I heat and cool the room because I don't care what brand, they're going to fail. If you want to be safe, you need to replace a heater every 2 years. Plain and simple. With Inkberg controllers or a heater controller of some sort with them. I don't trust them. These things are constantly switching on and switching off, switching on multiple times a day. And 9 times out of 10, what fails in a heater is the internal switch from on, off, on, off, on, off all the time. They wear out. 2 things are going to happen. It's either going to get stuck on or it's going to get stuck off. Either way, I would rather have it stuck off and the tank get a little bit colder. However, in Patty's situation, his tank got so cold, his Oscar died. Conversely, it gets stuck on, it heats it up, you boil your fish. I stopped using heaters a long time ago, and then when I got this fish room set up, I put a Mr. Cool unit up there, and I heat and cool the room. Now, I do have some heaters in these tanks. You can see one behind me. but it's not plugged in. These heaters aren't running. This tank's sitting at 78 degrees. The only reason why I put heaters in that tank is because I bought some clown loaches and they're growing out with the tiger barbs in a 55-gallon. Clown loaches get big, ready for them. But those heaters are unplugged, not being used. Overlighting, exactly. How many hours a day are we keeping our lights on? Causes way too much phosphates, algae, and excessive nutrients. All my lights are on simple analog timers. They're on for maybe 8 to 10 hours a day, and I've even dialed that back. Since I've dialed it back, I have less algae issues. Good point. Yeah, I felt bad for him too, Polly. I recently did a post from my city telling us that they're doing a big flush of the water system. This is a great info. Without knowing, this can kill fish with water changes. And I've read about this. I got online and checked into my local, but this is another thing I've never worried about that I probably should, because it's not something that happens. No matter where I've lived, keeping fish, I've never worried about that and I've never had an issue. But that doesn't mean it couldn't be an issue. So, as fish keepers, it's probably not a bad idea to see what their schedule is for, and they have to do it. That's not them being a bad guy. They have to absolutely clean our drinking water. My heaters are only for growth tanks. Yeah, and the other time I have some heaters in the tanks. If I got one of those temperature guns, by far the best way to go around shoot your tanks. They're very accurate with the regular thermostat thermometers. Um, and I have found that some of them were getting too cold, like in the 68 degrees. If a tank for whatever reason is that, I will throw a heater in there. Heaters are basically working on the same technology as the old incandescent light bulbs. They burn out and they use the cheapest thermostat they can buy from China and they fall it out. Exactly. I mean, what is a incandescent light bulb? It has a filament. Same thing like how a fuse works. There's a little filament that connects 2 points. In a heater, you got heating elements and they're connected at 2 points. The switch is usually what wears out, but the filaments can burn out too. But usually if a heating element burns out and it disconnects, it's just not going to heat. It's not going to work anymore. 4 to 5 hours spread or 6 and 6. Yeah. That's a good lighting schedule. And I might have to dial mine down even more because I still have algae issues. It looks like it's snowing in this tank because that's duckweed that has infected all my tanks. So if you guys are wondering what all this crap is floating around in here, it's freaking duckweed. Freaking duckweed. I know Discus North had issues with city water changes. Yep, I've been watching a lot of his videos lately. 4 to 5 hours of lighting is ideal. And Slim Tim, he's been keeping fish for 30 some years. So that's one thing I like about coming in here and chatting with you guys. Learn a lot. But for me, I always like at the minimum 8 hours because I like to see my fish before I go to work. Now, that hasn't been happening for a while because I get up early. I always have, but I've been getting up 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. These lights aren't on yet. So I'll put my light on to go around, feed my fish, check on everything. So they're dark when I leave, but I like to see the lights on when I come home. So I tend to keep my lighting on a little bit longer, but I think I'm going to have to dial it down a little bit more. I hate duckweed. I'm going to send them to Dan over at Everyday Fish Keeping. I told him that last night. Some LED diodes whites are too bright and trigger allergy. I heard that the blue light is what is the big contributor to algae growth when it comes to LED lights and any lighting. So I have dialed down. I turn off all my blue lighting, but I've went a step above that. If you guys watch my videos, I'm getting away from the strip lights, the LED lights, any lighting that sits on top of the aquarium. Once they die, they're out of here. I'm hanging those cheap $5-6 pendant construction lights you can get at Lowe's. I pick an LED light I put in there, and they're suspended from the ceiling because one, I hate crap on top of my tanks. I like them being easy to get in. I don't want to fight anything to open a lid. If I want to take the lids off to clean them, I don't have to fight a light. And I'm finding this pendant lighting is really good, and it's on analog timers. So that's what I'm slowly getting over to. This 375 is lit up by that way. Down to duckweed. I'm on war with. Ugh. Duckweed, John, man. I tried keeping dickweed. That's a good way to put it, Nathan. It is dickweed. I had much movement in the tank and it died off, thankfully. Well, you see this stuff moving around. I've scooped it up. I've fed fish with it. It just keeps coming. I will take buckets of it out and throw it over the fence. I've sent some to Tommy to feed his ducks. Slim Tim knows his fish. College football, not so much. He got you there. You think it's white? What is it? White or blue? I thought it was. From what I understand, the blue light is what really feeds algae. Now, Aquarium Boss says it's white. Does anybody have anything to add on to that? Is it white or blue light that really feeds algae? Just turn your lights on later in the day so when you come home, they're on. Simple fix there. Yeah, I mean, that happens anyways. I mean, I have my lights right on now to come on at 7 in the morning. I'm long gone before 7 in the morning most times. But I could, but I also, I could do that because I have these shop lights that have really took my potho growth off coming on at 7. So I could leave the tank lights off and just let that ambient light. Scotty, that's a good idea. We're going to do it. I appreciate the idea. Neat the things you figure out just by talking. For me, 6 hours has been the sweet point. No real algae issues, good plant growth. I overfeed, good water movement, filtration seems to have balanced out. Okay. And it's neat how everybody's experience is different. But I got to do something with this algae growth. Like since I've downed them down for from an hour, even I've noticed a decrease in the dang blackbeard algae. I can't stand it. Blackbeard algae is horrible. I hate it. It grows on everything and you can't clean it off. If you get blackbeard algae growing on your dang plant, you might as well cut the leaf off. I've tried scraping it. It ain't coming off. I need to get me some of those Siamese algae eaters. I hear they do a good job at eating that stuff. I'm getting some shop lights for my racks. Well, for the 2 shelves I need to light up, 8-pack linkable. Okay, Nathan, these are all linkable. I got these are hyper tough ones from Walmart. Is that what you're getting? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going around this room, and it's fantastic in here. It's since I added them, the potho plants are growing like you wouldn't believe. But I will tell you, it makes it hard to make videos as a YouTuber because of the reflection. You have to but I left the pull strings on them, which is nice so I can individually turn lights off. I got this big 220 high eye service. It has one strip white LED and the algae grows. Okay. That makes sense. I mean, that's the experience. So you can know that the white LED lights is definitely contributing to that for sure. Jimmy P, Iron Ram Fish Company. That's you. Are you Jimmy P, right? I forgot about this. If I'm right, I've been wondering where Jimmy P has been. Are you Jimmy P? And you changed your name a while back. I just forgot all about that. Only issue I have is they are a single bulb, and I kind of want a dual bulb shop light. Mine are LED, and it's just one strip all the way across. Check out the Nathan. Check out the Hyper Tough ones at Walmart. Good price on them, and they're linkable, and they have done a fantastic job. No issues yet. So I think there's a certain diode that actually induces algae to grow. I wonder what it is. Yeah, Siamese algae eaters are the slow cure for BBA. Yeah, I'd like to get me about 15 Siamese algae eaters and put them in all tanks. Except I don't have it. It's like the 125 gallon Mabuna tank. There's no BBA there, but every other tank BBA, and it turns purple. Sharks eat some. I can't see what that is. Is that a cat in a box? And they are 2 times as epic. Jose is 5 to 11 hours when I am likely to be home. So you're like me. You like to see them on when you come home. Jim's Fish. Okay. That's what I couldn't remember, man. It's been too long. I tried the clamp lights, Jesse, but my stem plants weren't growing the way I like. So I'm now trying Barina grow lights from Amazon. Okay. You try the clamp lights, but the stem plants. See, I don't have that issue, but I don't have that issue. The only issue I have is my pothos are growing so big and bushy and the leaves are getting so big, it's blocking my light out. So I have to always, kind of sort that out. I run my lights from 10 to 10, 12 hours. My stem plants are slowly growing. Very nice. Blackbeard. Not sure if the shark. Oh, Blackbeard. Not sure if the sharks will. Oh, yeah. I heard Siamese algae eaters do a good job at it. Is it a good deal? Like 8 for $50? Yeah, 8 lights for $50 that are, what'd you say, 8 foot or 6 foot long? That's a fantastic price. Jesse, where do you buy fish from locally? If I'm going to buy fish locally, Roy, I'm either going to go to be honest with you, I get a lot of my fish from PetSmart, the pet supermarket. But if I want a little bit more options, I'm going to go over to Aquarama. They're a little higher price, but they have a lot more options for fish. Usually, if you're looking for it, they have it. They got things like silver arowanas, discus, where most of these other places don't have fish like that. So it depends on what I'm looking for. If I can go to PetSmart and get a fish, I'll do it. If I can get a fish that I'm looking for from some friends online, we'll do that. I like to support my friends who are breeding and trying to make a living out of this, like your Brantons, like your tropical fish companies. Nathan, if you get into it, you could be a possibility too. Um, I'm going to support you guys first, but mostly since I've been keeping fish, they've come from PetSmart. But if I really want a pretty different fish that you're not going to find in your box stores or pet supermarkets, I'm going to go to Aquarama just because it's the best I got closest to me. Right now, I am hunting for some mini CFLs. Those bulbs, I swear, radiate plants well. 5K bulbs for height and 24K for carpeting. You know what I like, Aquarium Boss, and you guys tell me what your thoughts here on this. I recently installed some lights in my house, recessed lights. And those lights actually have a switch on them that you can pick your Kelvin or whatever it's called. You can pick on those lights anywhere from the highest being 5,000. One of them of the lights we have goes to 6,400K, all the way down to like 2,400 or 3K, 3,000. I like that. I like a light that gives you options to switch what you want. So there's lights out there that you could do to pick what you want and really play with it. You ever seen those? Don't worry, Jose. Someday you can be retired and be home all day, so you can. Man, Scotty's rubbing it in. Look at Scotty rubbing it in. Burn. Yes, I got 2 blue Acara from Aquarama. Okay. Yeah, I had bought a blue Acara from Aquarama one time, but the Jack Dempsey I have is from them as well. He's over here. They're a little high priced. It's hot in there. It's always hot in there because it's such a small building, but they have some nice fish. They're a little pricey though. They can be a little pricey, but I also can understand it a little bit. They know that you can't get this fish anywhere else. I think there's some other places I haven't been to around North Carolina has a decent selection too, but Aquarama, it's about it's about 20 minutes from me, and I like their selection. I run 3 on the 340s. I set up on the 340s. I set up to look like one long tank. That's cool. I think Joey King of DIY did something like that with 2 tanks. Looked really cool. Put a tree in both of them that was halved up. They come together at the top and made it look like one big tank. It was really cool. Graham says flying silver foxes have been the best for BBA for me. Get a bad infestation gone in a couple of weeks. Wow. Okay. Flying. Bear with me a minute. I want to look that up. Let's look at this. So here's your flying silver foxes. Let's put that on the big screen. Now, that one silver flying fox, that one looks like a I always forget the name of those things that Mel has that I love. The cute little what are them things called that Mel has? Absolutely love them. They're so cute. Oh, what's the name of them little things that crawl over her hand when she puts her hand in there? Come on, what's the name of them things? Well, anyways, that thing there looks like one of the. That's a nice looking fish, the silver flying fox. And I see there's tons of different kinds. But well, I'm confused. Like this one here, Graham. They're saying this is a flying fox, but it looks like a Cory cat. Oh, which one is it? Which one do you have? Do you see it on the picture? I think I finally learned not to use the metal cased shop lights after having them rust. Yeah, mine are plastic. That makes sense, and that's a good thing to look out for, John. I appreciate that information. Cecil's PetSmart is trash. They don't take care of their fish, and that unfortunately, they most of them don't. My PetSmart isn't really that bad, and the Petco is terrible, but my PetSmart is actually a pretty decent PetSmart, and they just redid all their tanks. They remodeled them completely, new lighting, new filtration, everything, and they even brought in a lot more species of fish you can buy, which I never would have thought I would have found at a PetSmart. Um, like the tiger blue polar parrot that I have. And there was a couple other fish there I couldn't believe they had. Now we got aquarium box going light hunting. My countdown says 46, 18 more days until I can retire and go fish full time. I still can't get my hands on yo-yo loaches, or what was it? Yo-yo loaches for all these snails. Yeah, Tara needs some yo-yo loaches. Blue green algae, I have had that. I still got that in some of my tanks, but I pretty much got that to a minimum. But and I'm sure you know that it's not really an algae; it's a bacteria, and you don't want it. So erythromycin will kill it. I've had good luck using erythromycin, but I don't think erythromycin will really kill it all in one dose. You need to do it again. Um, but Slim Tim, he's giving me a suggestion to do a complete blackout where you turn your lights off, cover your tank completely with a blanket for like I don't know a week or something, and that kills it. Cyanobacteria, which is what you're talking about, Roy, or blue green algae, which I don't ever understand why I call it blue green algae because it's not an algae; it's a bacteria that you don't want. It does not like flow, so it's going to hang out in places in the bottom of your tank. There's not a lot of water flow, so increase your flow, add some erythromycin, do some frequent water changes, and you should be able to take care of it. Flying foxes and Siamese algae. Okay, I was going to say I thought that one up there looked just like a Siamese algae fish. Doctor fish, autocinkless. Yep, that's the one. Okay, yeah, I saw it. That's pretty cool, Grant. That's great information too. One of them is the correct spelling. Yeah, I'm terrible with scientific names. Google is not accurate at showing the correct species. Yeah, I've experienced that too. Second one from the right of the screen. I saw that, Graham. I know exactly which one you're talking about. Very cool. Pandagara. Sketty came at. She got it. Exactly. The Pandagaras. That one looked like a Pandagara. Hey, Asaya. Good morning. Good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. appear to have added a U. Diesel, mine is the same way. Too many dead fish in the tanks all the time. Yeah. Webb says the PetSmart in the UK is awful. Dead fish everywhere. It's really bad, man. The mom and pop stores are really good, though. They are. Yes, sir. Most welcome. 2 from the top right is what he means. Blue-green algae, aka cyanobacteria, my city water source includes that. You can taste it at the fountain drinks. My filtration system takes care of most of it, but it's still a battle for me. Ugh. The fact that you can taste it makes me sick, John. Some of the pet stores in my area have been remodeling and have been looking much better. Hopefully their practices change. The Petco in my area have been pretty good. Those that look sketchy, I didn't go. Yeah. Isn't the flying fox and spot tail the same fish, just different name? Yep, there's a suggestion right there. Blackout for a week for blue green. Literally block out all the light from the aquarium and don't worry about feeding. Block all light. Yep. And I've heard that, and that's what Tim does. It seems to work for him. But, what is causing cyanobacteria in our aquariums? Well, I believe it's an excess buildup of nutrients. Too much lighting, too much feeding, not enough water changes. Things like that can all contribute to cyanobacteria. Too much nutrient buildup. Makes you sick. Come visit. I'll take you out to a restaurant. Ew. Yeah, you need to find the root of the problem why you have, because it'll keep coming. Yeah, it'll just keep coming. You got to find the root, and I fully believe it's just allowing the buildup of too many nutrients, like I just said. You're feeding too much. You're not doing enough water changes. You have too much light on all day. Nitrates are getting too high. All these things are building up a crap ton of nutrients in your aquarium, and you slowly start getting things like cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria, when it's small, isn't a big deal, but if it starts overtaking your aquarium, it can actually cause harm to your fish. It is a bacteria, so we need to treat it with an antibiotic, such not like erythromycin. Fritz sells something for killing it, but basically it's erythromycin. If you turn their product around, it has erythromycin in it. So what I do is I remove as much as I can physically, and then I treat with erythromycin and lower the lights. And you got to keep it that way for a while, or it'll just keep coming back out. But Tim, 100% right. You got to find the root of the problem, or it's just going to keep coming. For sure. For sure. I hate cyanobacteria. It's pretty, kind of pretty, but I hate it. Probably build up the 2 weeks I was sick. I didn't do water changes. Possibly, Roy, for sure. Don't forget to hit the like and the thumbs up. Appreciate that reminder. Scotty, appreciate that reminder. And Scotty, what do you think? I mean, this was Scotty's suggestion to use the 375 as a background so everybody could see it, see how it's going. So we went ahead and did it. Went ahead and did it. We did it. We are live to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch all at the same time. Supposedly, ram's horn snails eat cyano. I got a ram's horse farm. Oh, neat. I didn't know that. I didn't think anything ate it. I love it too. It's going strong. It's a great tank. Lots of room. And I know I only got 4 big fish in here. I did have the Dempsey. The Dempsey had to come out. He had to go out back to his 75 because he was being too much of a bully. Yeah, and I liked his idea too. Is it change up a little bit of different background, change the background up a little bit during a live stream, see some different fish, things like that. It's doing good, but as I sit here, it's nice and the temperature is regulated well in here for my Mr. Cool unit. I don't need heaters in these tanks; it stays well. But as I see, I'm going to have to do a duckweed clean out session again, where I go around with a net and a bucket. Scoop out a bunch of the duckweed because it really blocks a lot of the light, can stunt the plant growth in the tanks, and cause other issues like that. But, this has been a fantastic live stream. Really enjoyed it. Lots of people in here, lots of activity, and it's been really good. Um, we are at an hour 20. I'm probably going to go ahead and end the live stream here. I got some things to take care of this weekend. As always, I can't thank you guys enough for coming in here and hanging out with me. And what a great action packed, information filled live stream we had here today. And I can't thank you guys enough. Turned out way better than I thought it was going to turn out. And that's thanks to you guys. And I think I've learned a lot just from this live stream. And I hope you guys did too. Duckweed will also inhibit oxygen exchange. Exactly. It'll suffocate. So weekly, I'm cleaning this stuff out. That's a great point, John. So you guys have a good weekend as well. Can't thank you guys enough. You're the best. And we will see you out in the field. Look forward to the video coming out that I was discussing earlier about my assistant. And we're going to see how that goes. Be safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we'll see you out in the field.